Have you ever wondered how some businesses or individuals always know what are the top selling best products on Amazon before everybody else? In this video, I'm going to show you how to automate that exact same thing using AI. I'm going to use n8n, which is a no-code platform, to show you how to build an automation that will send you on a daily basis the top selling Amazon products in different niches like home improvements, electronics, or whatever you're interested in without you writing a single line of code. I'm going to show you step by step how to build this so that way once you get it set up, all you have to worry about is checking your email or Google Sheet and all of the data will be updated there on a daily basis. This is going to be a no-code solution regardless of your background. Even if you have never done anything with AI, this will make sense to you because I'm going to walk through step by step and show you how to build this thing. So make sure you stick around till the end because you will learn a lot about this particular industry where then you can sell this to businesses, or if you already have a business, you can use this to make your business way more efficient and stay competitive in the market. All right, without any further delay, let's jump right into the video. All right, so let's get started. I'm in my blank n8n workflow. If you guys are new to n8n, if you don't know, I'm going to put the link in the description. You can go ahead and go to n8n through that link. You can sign up for a free 14-day trial. And, afterwards you'll come in and click on a new workflow. This is where you'll end up. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with a demo. And then I'm going to go ahead and walk through step by step and show you exactly how this is done. And again, regardless of your background, this will be very simple, and I'll walk through step by step and show you the different things that you can do. So regardless of your background, it should make sense. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, in order to do the demo, I'm going to head over to my community here. I just want to download or grab the workflow here. So if I come to, let me make sure this one. On the workflow automation, scroll down, n8n blueprint. So n8n blueprint is basically the JSON file that you can upload very easily into your canvas there, and it will bring everything over. So I'm just going to click on download here and then head over to my n8n. And then you're going to come on the top right hand corner on the three dots here. You're going to click and you're going to click import from file. So this is going to open up. Go to your folder, the downloads, and just going to double click on that or just open it. And this is going to bring over all of the nodes that are there. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a demo. As far as the trigger itself, you could do a schedule trigger, which means that for production, when you're doing this for yourself or for your business, you can do a schedule trigger where you're triggering it automatically every day or something like that. But for this demo, I'm just going to do this manual, which says when clicking a test workflow. So let me go ahead and get over to the schedule trigger here. Okay, so in order to, let's go ahead and check a particular top seller for a particular area. So if I go to my school again on top here, I have like a nice little link. Amazon bestsellers. If I double click on this, if I click on this, this is going to open up all of the Amazon bestsellers in different categories, right? So there's bestsellers in clothing, shoes, jewelry, bestsellers in home, kitchen, electronics, automotive, and whatever it may be. So whatever you're interested in, you can just go ahead and take a look at that. But I'm gonna, let's see, let's try bestsellers in home and kitchen. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm just going to click on see more, and all I have to do is copy this URL here. So I'm just going to copy that URL and go back to my workflow here, and I'm going to double click on this and change this URL right here. Don't worry about this. I'm going to explain everything step by step. I just want to show you that you can just essentially click a button and see what the result is, and then afterwards I can come back and take a look at this. All right, so and then also I have a Google Sheet. So this node right here, basically once this automation goes through, it goes to two different routes. It will output the data in the Google Sheet, and then also it can send us a Slack. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Google Sheet, and we'll come back, take a look at the Slack as well. So this is the Google Sheet that you'll have. The way to grab this is you literally come here, click on Google Sheet template, link here if you're part of the school community. If not, then that's fine. You can just create your own. It's pretty simple. Like it only has a few columns. Okay. So let's go ahead and now that we put that bestsellers, Amazon bestsellers on home and kitchen. Let's go ahead and click on this. I'm just going to click on test workflow. All right, so this is gonna now utilize our OpenAI node. to be able to grab the information that's coming in, because there's going to be a lot of data that's going to come in from our scraper. So what this is going to do is just summarize and make it useful data, because when you scrape a website or you scrape a platform like Amazon through the URL, it sends a lot of data. So you want to be able to use a code node to grab a piece of that information so we can send it to our AI node that then will summarize and extract the data that we need, right? So that's what's happening right now. So that's why it takes a little bit, depending on which model you use, to be able to grab that piece of information, and then it will send it over to the rest of the nodes, and then update our Google Sheet here with the top 10 ranked ones. All right, there you go. Perfect. So now if we go, there you go. So if I just expand this a little bit, you will see that these are all the top 10 ranks, including the Amazon link here. All right, so if we zoom in right here, let me zoom in a little bit so that way you can see this better. All right, so the top 10 ranked on the home bestsellers for this home and kitchen is this liquid ant baits, this Amazon Basic 4 microfiber lightweight bed sheets, the Stanley Quencher H2O, and queen size bed, right? So let's go ahead and take a look and make sure that that's what it shows. If you can see right here, number one, Ant Killer, second one, the Amazon Basic, third one, this Quencher. So it looks like it worked out. It worked perfectly. And obviously you can, depending on whatever department you're in, you can use, all you have to do is just go and change the URL inside this set node over here, and it will scrape that. And then also, earlier, for example, I used this OpenAI to send myself a Slack. So this is what that result looks like. So right here, as you can see, it gives me the top 10 best products. Earlier, I scraped for electronics, so it just gave me a nice little list. And we can work with this to format it, whether we want to send it to our Slack or email or something else. All right, so that was kind of the demo. Now let's go ahead and build this thing out step by step. So I'm going to remove this. Okay. So we're in our blank worksheet here. Let me also get rid of this, so that way we start fresh. All right, perfect. So we got blank worksheet there, and we got our blank workflow here. So the first thing we need to do is we need to, let me actually go and show you, so that way we know exactly what's going on. So the first step is to add a trigger, and then the second one is to scrape Amazon bestsellers to do bright data. So let's go ahead and work on this particular step. So I'm going to head over here. Again, like I said, if you're building this for yourself, for your business, or if you're trying to sell this, this would be, you would add like a schedule trigger, right? Because you want to automate this complete process. But for me, for this demo purposes, I have to use this manual trigger right here. So if I go to the right-hand corner here, these are all the different triggers there. So I'm just going to click on trigger manually. All right, perfect. So the next step is we need to add a set node that is going to grab our bright data URL for that top selling Amazon product. So let's go ahead and add a set node. I'm just going to search for set node, grab it right here. All right. So before we do this, let's go ahead and create a Bright Data account. All right, so I'm going to head over to Bright Data here to the website. This gives you, you can start a free trial here. You don't even have to put your credit card. It gives you really good free credit. So feel free to do that. I'm going to put the link in the description so that way you can click on this as well. And by the way, I'm not being sponsored by Bright Data or anything like that. This is just because I use Appify. I use different products as well. Sometimes I sign up for an affiliate link just because, sometimes I get kickbacks, but other than that, so when you guys see that I'm not promoting these products, sometimes I just use it for my own personal use. I just find it useful. So therefore I, provide this feedback or just use this system that I show you. Okay. Let's go ahead. All right. So once you come over here, you're going to click on start free trial. You can put your email here. I'm just going to use Google. I created an account, but with a different email. I think I should be good here. Okay, you have no more free test credits. Yeah, I'd already used this, but once you create this account, this will give you a free test credit. Since I already used it earlier, then I don't have any free test credits, but you should already have one. So once you're here, what you're going to do, you're going to come over to this proxies and scraping. Once you come over here, you're going to click on this Web Unlocker API, and you're going to click on Get Started. So this is where you need to create a zone here. Again, those of you who are part of my school, all you have to do, I've provided this link for you. So you just got to click on this, create bright data zones, and it will bring you exactly the same exact spot. So you don't have to worry about what this is doing. The only thing you need to do is just name a zone. And again, this is, you can come here and take a look at this little information here. So zone name could be anything, as long as it's like lowercase. So name it something that you could recognize, right? For example, my web locker or something like that, right? So for example, let's just do my web locker or my web unlocker. Okay. So once you name it, you can just click on create, and I can't do this one because I've already have another one. Let me just bring that one up so you see exactly what it looks like. There you go. So this is what it's going to look like. Once you create this web unlocker, so the API, it's going to look something like this, right? And it's going to give you an API token. Make sure you click on that API token or save that somewhere, because then we'll copy it. But essentially, all you need is the name. So you're just going to copy the name here. You're going to come back to your workflow. You're going to go to your set node here, click on add field. You're going to do the name as zone, and you're going to just paste the value. Whoops, that's the link. What did I name it? Yeah, you're just going to copy this and paste it right here. That's all. Okay. So that was one. And then also we need to do a URL. I'm going to actually bring this to the top. There you go. Yep. And then also we need to have the Amazon URL here, right? So the name is going to be URL, and then the value, this is where you will now click on that whatever bestseller you're in. So for example, if you're in the home and kitchen, all you have to do is just come on the top here, copy this, go back and paste it. Okay. So if you test step, this should output the URL and zone. And so these are the two different things that you need here. So, and as far as the naming, you could just name Amazon. It's always good practice to name these Amazon URL and Bright Data Zone. Okay. I'm gonna click on rename. All right, perfect. So that step is done. Then our next step is going to be adding the HTTP request node to be able to send this information to our Bright Data and scrape that particular URL. So I'm going to go ahead and look for HTTP request. I'm just going to click on this. All right. So the method is going to be post, because we need to send this request to our Bright Data URL. The URL is going to be, if I go to my school here, I have it right here, Bright Data URL. So you're just going to copy this and paste it over there. And again, if you're not part of the school community, all you have to do is just go to api.brightdata.com/request, right? Because we need to send a request there. Authentication, we're going to leave it as generic credential types. The auth is going to be header auth. And then let me go ahead inside here. So what you're going to do is, because I've already created one, but you're going to click on new credentials, and you're going to put the name and the value. So the name is going to be authorization, and then the value is going to be bearer, and then your API token. How do you get that? Once you create that API or this kind of scraper, my web unlocker, this will give you the API token. And as you can see right here on the right hand side, it says authorization, bearer, and then this is your API token. Obviously, I'm going to remove my API token, so don't worry about copying this, but make sure you save your API token somewhere safe. So authorization, and then same thing, bearer, and so authorization, and then you're going to do bearer. It's good to actually switch to expressions so you see what you're typing. Bearer, space, and then you'll paste your API token, okay? And you're going to save it, so name it something like auth token or something like that, and click on save. Once you do, since I've already done that, I've just had it as header auth account, right? Like very simple, but feel free to rename it whatever you want. So another thing is we're going to leave the query parameters and headers as blank. We're going to send body. So as far as the body, we're going to send two things. We're going to send zone. Okay. And then the zone that we're going to grab is from the left hand side here. So if we come right here, this my web unlocker. So I'm just going to grab this. And then we're going to add another parameter. And this is going to be the URL. And this is the URL that we need to paste here. That's going to scrape that particular one. Okay. All right. So that's good. And then one more thing we need to send is, how was it? Format raw. That's what it is. It's called format. You're going to type format, and the value is going to be raw. Okay, perfect. So that's all you need. And if you did everything right, this should allow you to scrape and get some information from this particular URL. So let's go ahead and click on test step, and hopefully this will work. executing node, and there you go, perfect. So now you get a bunch of data here. So if you click on JSON here, you'll see you get a ton of data right here. And it's a bunch of gibberish. Obviously, it doesn't make any sense because it's essentially grabbing all of the page's content. But in order to make sense of this, you need to now add additional nodes. And so that way we can grab the data that we need, right? So, but let's go ahead and, what did I name this? All right, I'm just going to copy these, to be honest, because I'm too lazy right now. Copy, go back, paste, boom, right? And then, of course, make sure you name this as well. So as you can see right here, I have this named as, what did I name it as? Amazon bestseller products, and then Amazon URLs and Bright Data. But feel free to change this to whatever you want. All right, so afterwards, the next thing is extracting the top 10 Amazon bestsellers. So what we need to do here is we need to add a code node because we need to grab the information that's relevant, because we saw it's sending us all of this nonsense. So we need to add like a code node. We're not, again, you can use ChatGPT here or Claude to generate a code, or if you're in the cloud account, you can literally just click on Ask AI and then tell it, hey, generate a JavaScript code for me to grab, a sample data from this side, so that way I can process it for next, and play around with this. But I've generated the code already. So if I go to the community here and scroll to the bottom, it's this one right here. So I'm just going to copy this and come here and paste it. Again, this is very simple. I just use ChatGPT, but feel free to play around with this. So what this is going to do is just grab a sample HTML here, so that way we can send it to the next node. So if I click on test step, now this should just grab that information, at least a chunk of it. There you go. So it kind of generated this thing called partial HTML, which is going to be a sample of what's coming in from here. Okay, so that's good. Now the next step is we need to add our extractor node, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and search for extractor, information extractor, and this is an OpenAI node. The text here is going to be this partial HTML that we're going to just drag and drop. So I'm going to bring it over here. There you go. Perfect. So now the schema type, we're going to define a schema. And again, I'm using ChatGPT here just so I make sense of this data that's coming in, right? If you were to grab this entire data, then this will be too much for AI to process. So therefore, you have to add this code node to get a sample of that data, so that way you can process the rest. So let's go ahead and, so I'm just going to go over to my community, same thing, structured data, structure, output or input schema. I'm just going to copy this, come back here and paste it. Feel free to play around with AI to come up with whatever you think you're trying to grab, whatever piece of information. I'm just grabbing the top 10 from this particular jargon or mess of a data that's coming in from the left-hand side. Okay. You can also add a system prompt. So if you click on app options, this will, if you're doing something particular, you could add a system prompt, but I'm just going to leave it as it is. All right. So we're good to go there. I'm just going to click on test step here. And now what this is going to do is this is going to take this data from the left-hand side and summarize it and grab the relevant information. All right. Let's see, a model subnode must be, oh yeah, I forgot to add a API or a chat model here. So you're going to click on model because obviously you need to add a chat model here. So I'm just going to grab my OpenAI here, but feel free to, grab whatever you want. I'm going to use GPT 4.1 mini because I've seen that has worked better before, but feel free to grab whatever you want here. So I'm just going to go ahead and test this step. Hopefully this will work now. So what this is going to do, again, utilize this schema. Based on this schema, it's going to grab or extract the information from this output of this previous node that came in through. This is going to take a couple of seconds because obviously there's a lot of data that's being processed. So that's why it's going to take a couple of seconds depending on which model you're using, right? So, and play around with different models. I mean, if you're using like 4.1, like you can use Nano because that's the fastest one, and then go to Mini. But if you see that you're not getting the relevant data, use a bigger model from OpenAI or even Anthropic or something like that, right? But in the meantime, let's go ahead and I'm just going to copy this little note here, so that way I don't have to do that work while this is getting processed. There you go. Perfect. All right, so it finished. Let's go ahead and see what the data looks like. There you go. Perfect. If I click on schema, now it extracted like the top 10 products, as you can see right here, the top 10 products. So output 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, all of that stuff. And we have title, stars, total ratings, offer, product URL, and image URL. And that's coming in based on this schema that we defined here. If you want to add additional, or if you want to grab additional parameters, make sure you change the schema here. Okay. All right, cool. So that's good to go. Now let's go ahead and create our third step, which was the output. What you need to do is add a split node here, because you can see this is outputting all of this data. It's almost like list items. What we need to do is split this data into individual rows, essentially, or individual item outputs, so that way we can then add this to our Google Sheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this and just search for split. So you're just going to do split out. And what you need to do is just grab the output from here. And that's all you need, right? So you're just going to click test step, and this is going to output this into a absorbable table almost. So as you can see, it has all these tables, the tables with the same column names, and then all these different rows, right? So that's why this is very important. Because if you put this directly, connect this to the Google Sheet, it's not going to work properly. So just go ahead and add the split item. And as you can see, one item came out from this output and 10 items came out from this. And that's exactly what we need. So the next step is we need to add our Google Sheet. So if I search for Google Sheets here, Google Sheets, and you're going to do append or update a row in a sheet, right? So you're going to attach your Google Sheet and credentials. Very simple to do. Follow my other videos if you don't know how to do that. Very, very simple. A resource is going to be sheet within document. Operation is going to be append or update row. From list, if you connected your Google Sheet properly, this should load all of the lists there. I've named this one best-selling products. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to grab best-selling products, and this is going to load the sheet inside. I only have one sheet, so I'm just going to select sheet 1. This is going to load all of the columns that are there. For column to match on, I'm just going to use ranking, because that's the first column right there. And now all you have to do is just literally drag and drop. Make sure you're dragging your from the split out here, so not from the information extractor. So you're just going to literally drag and drop. Very simple. Stars, total ratings, offer. And the reason why this columns is matching already is because, like I said, I used that little an image. I used this exact template right here. So all you have to do is click on this template. It will bring you to the exact template right here. And what this is going to do, ooh, this is zoomed in a lot. So this is going to just automatically bring in these columns which match your workflow here. Okay. So as you can see right now, there's no data there. So now if I test this step, this should upload that data there. So let me go ahead and click on test step. So now this should grab all of this data that's coming in and output into our Google Sheet in a really nice formatted way. Perfect. It looks like it worked. And if I go back to my Google Sheet, you can see oops, didn't mean to do that. You can see that the top ranked products are out here with the stars for each one, total ratings, the offer is basically price. So if you want to change the name of that column, feel free to change it to price. Most importantly, the product URL. So if I click on this product, you can see it will directly take me to that product, which the number one seller is obviously this liquid ant baits. And if I go to the Amazon best products, you can see the number one is this liquid ant baits. So for example, the third one, let's say Stanley Quencher H2O something. That's the third one. Yep, absolutely right. So it looks like it grabbed everything correctly. If I click on this, it should bring me to that particular product right here, which is this Stanley water bottle thing, right? So for example, the stars is 4.7, the reviews is 15 to 5,000. So this is like a, the ratings and everything, and the stars will be brought over. And like, as you can see right here, this is 55,903 total ratings, which is exactly what matches on our product right here. 55,902 ratings. Okay, cool. So that's kind of like the Google Sheet here. So now you can schedule this, and on a daily basis, this will update all of the top 10 ranked products. Next step, what we could do, this is optional. You don't have to do this, but you can also add a OpenAI node here that gives you a summary that it can send to your Slack channel. This could be sent to your email, or it could be sent to some other whatever communication form you have, right? So I'm just going to message a model here, and I'm going to go to my community here because I just have the right here. So I'm just going to copy this. This is, by the way, a very simple prompt. Feel free to change that if you want. So I'm just going to just grab a model, nano. I'm just going to grab the nano here. Prompt. I'm just going to paste this. So what this is going to do is just essentially grab the top 10 products here and summarize it and give you a Slack message or something like that. And you can add like your Slack, very simple, and select a channel that you want to send, or you can send it to a message or message it directly to a user. Or like I said, you can add a email here, right? A Gmail here, that this is going to send you an email on a daily basis, with the top 10 best products, right? So very simple, but I kind of like this Google Sheet because it's very, very easy for me to read because it has all of the different data. But like I said, if you want to do a sample for your Slack or something like that, this is what it will look like there too. Okay, so that's what this scraper does. It essentially grabs, depending on which product or which Amazon bestseller you're looking for, which industry you're looking for. All you have to do is now go ahead and change. So now if I go and let's say we want to utilize bestseller in clothing, right? So if I go to here, all you have to do is just copy the URL. Now you're going to go back to the workflow. The only thing you need to change is the URL right here. Paste, and you can just, let me just delete this one because I don't need it. So now let's get rid of this. And this time, if I test workflow, so this should grab the top selling best products for the clothing right here, right? And let's go ahead and test that step, test workflow. So same thing, it's going to grab the URL, send that information to the Bright Data. It's going to summarize that. It should grab the information that's coming in from our information extractor, split it out, send it a nice little table format, and then update our Google Sheet here. So this should be updated now with all of the information about, where'd it go? Oh my God. Oh, this one, yeah. So it should be this Crocs, men's crew t-shirts, and then these other stuff as well. So let's go ahead and see if this thing worked. There you go. Perfect. So that worked. Let's go and take a look at our, there you go. Perfect. So see, first one, this Crocs unisex adult classic clog, guide men's crew t-shirt, multi-pack style, whatever, cohort men's loose fit heavyweight short sleeve, nippies, nipple covers for women. So, it looks like it worked, right? Crocs, shirts, nippies, nipple cover for women. All right. So looks like everything worked. You can now use this for any other department, depending on what your use case is. Again, all you have to do is just change the URL inside our Bright Data right here. All right. So hopefully that made sense. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Please make sure you like and subscribe because I've got some amazing things that are coming up in the pipeline that you don't want to miss. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.